Chapter 1. The Dust on the Throne. The golden afternoon light bled through the tall glass windows of the lecture hall at Crestwood University, casting long shadows across rows of tier-seated students. Up on stage, Professor Hayes cleared his throat, adjusting his glasses as he gestured toward a massive digital projector screen. Today, we examine modern literary and cultural economics, Professor Hayes announced, his voice echoing in the air-conditioned room. And no case study is more fascinating than the elusive master author, A.R.N. Without showing his face, this single writer has penned 6 consecutive global best-selling novel series, adapted into the world's top-grossing anime and film franchises. His total royalties and global media footprint rival entire corporate nations. In the front row, Vance flipped a lock of dark hair over her shoulder, tapping her stylus against her custom silver tablet. Her eyes were fixed on the screen's breakdown of the latest A.R.N. web novel release, which had shattered global digital sales records within 3 minutes of publishing. As the daughter of Arthur Vance, the CEO of Vance Global Tech Logistics, Arya understood power and market dominance better than most. Yet, this unknown creator managed to command the attention of millions worldwide while remaining a total ghost. Imagine having that kind of absolute influence, Arya murmured to her classmate beside her, to sit at the very top of the world's entertainment and tech supply chain, completely out of sight. At the back of the lecture hall, near the emergency exit, a quiet squeak of rubber wheels broke the silence. Fardous Ahmed Arnob pushed a heavy yellow mop bucket along the tiled aisle, his faded work uniform bearing the simple Crestwood Facilities logo. He kept his head down, carefully sweeping his broom around student backpacks and stray papers. To everyone in the auditorium, he was just Arnob, the quiet 18-year-old student worker struggling to cover his basic living expenses. To his parents back home, he was their innocent, humble boy. His father, Fardous Ahmed, regularly called him to remind him to save money on groceries, playing the part of a struggling blue-collar worker while secretly sitting on the $1 trillion throne of the Ahmed Group of industries. His mother, Fahima Akter, sent him carefully packed home meals while quietly running Fahima Akter Enterprises, an $800 billion empire. Both parents maintained their grand facade of poverty, convinced they were teaching their son the value of hard work. Neither of them knew the truth. Arnob paused near the back row, leaning lightly against his broom as he glanced up at the projector screen displaying his own pen name. A faint, imperceptible smile touched the corner of his lips before disappearing just as fast. Underneath his simple college routine lay a reality no living human could fathom. Upon turning 18, Arnob had unleashed an intricate, high-tier corporate apparatus that he had spent years designing in secret. Through FAA Global Holding, he quietly held controlling stakes, ranging from 50% to 60%, in virtually every major corporation listed on Earth. FAA Global Industry commanded 70% of the planet's power grid, managed global fuel pipelines, and built the world's naval superfreighters. F Global functioned as the central clearinghouse for international banking, while FAA Global Defense manufactured the premier hardware for sovereign defense forces. And finally, Arnobix, the absolute titan of technology and media, owned every silicon fabrication facility, every component manufacturer, every console, every school network, every gaming studio, and every animation house on Earth, including the publishing house that released A.R.N.'s books. His total personal net worth stood at an astounding $100 quintillion USD. He didn't just participate in the global market. He was the bedrock upon which the market rested. A suddenly buzzing phone interrupted the lecture. Arya Vance picked up her secure line, seeing her father's direct corporate signal flashing on screen. Stepping quietly toward the back aisle to answer, she passed Arnob, her designer perfume contrasting sharply with the faint smell of floor cleaner. She barely gave the janitor a second glance as she pressed the phone to her ear. "Father? I'm in class," Arya whispered into the receiver. "Arya, leave class immediately." Arthur Vance's tense voice came through the speaker. "The Ahmed Group and Fahima Enterprises just launched an all-out corporate war against us. They are trying to seize the rights to the Project Apex global infrastructure framework." Arya's breath hitched. Project Apex was the single largest global tech and logistics master contract in modern history, a deal capable of reshaping international trade for the next century. They're willing to go head-to-head with Vance Logistics? They are throwing their entire weight into it, her father replied coldly. Their combined liquidity is massive. If they force this contract through, our market share will collapse. "Who owns the master contract?" Arya asked, her voice tight as she walked past the mop bucket. "Who holds the final sign-off?" "That's the problem," her father muttered, soundly defeated. "The contract isn't held by a government or a standard board. It belongs directly to the parent entity above everything, Arnobic's Enterprise Group. The true owner of the contract is a single ghost executive who hasn't stepped into a public boardroom in his entire life." Arya stood motionless in the quiet hallway, just outside the lecture door, processing the sheer weight of the corporate war unfolding around her family's $400 billion legacy. Behind her, inside the quiet room, Arnob calmly pulled a sleek, customized obsidian mobile terminal from his pocket, a prototype device built by his personal team at Arnobic's that didn't exist anywhere on the commercial market. A quiet notification blinked on his encrypted screen. Subject: Project Apex bidding war. Parties involved: Ahmed Group $1 versus Fahima Ent. $800 billion versus Vance Logistics $400 billion. Action required. Signature of master owner for contract authorization. Arnob glanced out the doorway at Arya, then looked down at the notification detailing his parents' fierce corporate clash against her family. Swiping a thumb across the dark glass screen, he dismissed the alert, slipped the terminal back into his pocket, and picked up his broom to finish the aisle.